Hello everyone, welcome to the front lines of America's untold battle. Across the vast fields of the United States, a silent war is being waged. Millions of invasive species, from ravenous insects to destructive predators, are wreaking havoc on crops and livestock, causing billions of dollars in damage every single year. For farmers, this isn't just a problem. It's a full-blown crisis. Every day, they're forced to face an enemy that multiplies, adapts, and strikes without warning. From fortified fencing to high-tech surveillance, the tactics used to fight back are becoming more intense, more creative, and more desperate. But here's the burning question. Can humanity truly regain control? Or is Mother Nature playing by her own rules we can't hope to change? In this video, we dive deep into the high-stakes world of invasive species control, where survival, strategy, and science collide. This is more than a battle for land. It's a battle for the future of our food, our economy, and our environment. If you're ready to explore the truth behind this escalating conflict, drop a 1 in the comments, and gear up. Because this war? It's just getting started. Welcome to Ravenwood, Louisiana, where the line between civilization and the wild blurs with every rising tide. This small village sits nestled deep in the state's sprawling wetlands, surrounded by hundreds of square miles of unforgiving swamp. But when flood season arrives, the danger doesn't just come from rising waters, it comes with teeth. Massive alligators, some over 18 feet long and weighing more than a ton, emerge from the flooded marshes and creep dangerously close to human homes. Locals have whispered about these giants for generations, but recent years have proven the stories to be chillingly true. At the peak of flood season, the Ravenwood Swamp becomes a perfect hunting ground for these predators. With nearly 10,000 alligators calling this region home, the community is outnumbered, outmatched, and under siege. In an attempt to hold the line, residents installed underwater fences. But against the force of floodwaters and the brute strength of gators, the barriers stood no chance. Bent, crushed, destroyed. By the 1980s, the situation had become critical. That's when local authorities joined forces with biologists and experienced hunters to launch a bold counterattack, controlled alligator hunts. Using baited traps, precision shooting, and strict permits, they began to fight back. And while these efforts helped reduce immediate threats, the looming question remains. Can this ancient predator really be controlled in the long run? Or are the waters of Ravenwood forever ruled by giants? Hit like if you believe communities like Ravenwood deserve stronger protection. And leave a comment below, is population control the answer, or just a temporary fix? The hunt begins with a roar, not from the alligators, but from the heavy-duty swamp rigs that crash through the murky waters like tanks on a battlefield. In Ravenwood, Louisiana, this is no ordinary hunt, it's survival. Hunters, all of whom must be at least 18 years old, face not just brutal terrain, but a deadly predator lurking beneath the surface. We're talking about alligators that stretch over 18 feet long, weighing more than a small car. Their bite force? A bone-crushing 3,700 pounds per square inch, strong enough to shatter steel if it needed to. One wrong move, one miscalculated step, and a hunter could become the hunted. These apex predators are ambush specialists. Hidden beneath the swamp's opaque waters, they can strike with terrifying speed, lunging from the depths without warning. That's why success, and safety, hinges on the hunter's knowledge of alligator behavior. You don't chase an alligator. You outsmart it. When a gator is finally captured, every second counts. The hunter quickly covers its eyes to calm the animal and reduce stress, then clamps its jaws shut with practiced precision. Not just to prevent a deadly snap, but to humanely restrain it and ensure the hunt ends clean. This isn't just a job. It's a calculated risk, a high-stakes game of predator versus predator. If you respect the courage of these hunters, hit the like button. Do you think you have what it takes to face a 1,000-pound gator in its own territory? Let us know in the comments, because this swamp doesn't forgive mistakes. Alligator hunting in the United States has come a long way, from survival instinct to tightly regulated strategy. Back in the mid-20th century, trappers ruled the wetlands. But today, hunting with rifles under the watchful eye of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has become the new standard, a method that balances safety, sustainability, and tradition. In places like Texas and Florida, this isn't a free-for-all. Hunters must operate under strict guidelines to preserve the delicate balance of lake and river ecosystems. In Texas, for example, only .38 caliber rifles are permitted for alligator harvesting, ensuring precise, humane takedowns. Florida's Wildlife Commission goes even further, enforcing tight controls on weapon use and hunting methods to prevent unnecessary suffering and promote ethical hunting practices. These aren't just laws, they're lifelines for long-term conservation. Approach matters, too. Hunters are trained to keep a safe distance at all times, avoiding the deadly surprise strikes alligators are infamous for. A moment of carelessness can cost more than just the hunt, it can cost a life. In flood-prone regions like Louisiana, safety goes beyond the hunt. During the rainy season, local officials post clear warning signs in high-risk areas. Rising waters bring gators closer to human settlements, turning once safe backyards into potential danger zones. But perhaps the most powerful part of this story? What happens after the hunt? In many communities, alligator meat is donated to families in need, transforming a dangerous predator into a source of vital nutrition. It's a reminder that responsible hunting isn't just about control, it's about contribution. From protecting ecosystems to feeding the hungry, alligator hunting has evolved into something more than survival, it's a service. What's your take on this modern approach to managing alligator populations? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more wild stories from America's untamed front lines. While Louisiana battles gators in its swamps, a different predator stalks the northern and western plains. Wolves. Once symbols of untamed wilderness, wolves have now become a growing threat to America's ranching backbone. In states like Montana, where open pastures stretch for miles, wolves aren't just returning, they're devastating livestock, especially sheep. In 2021 alone, the sheep farming industry faced crippling losses, with wolf attacks accounting for over 80% of the reported damage. And this wasn't a fluke, it was a warning. That same year, scientists estimated that over 20,000 wolf pups were born. That might sound like a conservation win, until you realize what it means. More mouths to feed. More hunting. More desperation. Mother wolves, driven by instinct, search relentlessly for food to keep their pups alive. But their survival fight has a cost, and it's paid by farmers. These aren't just numbers on a chart. They're family-owned farms, generational livelihoods, and a way of life under siege. The cycle is vicious. More wolves, more attacks, more losses, more pressure on local ecosystems and rural economies. And still, the question echoes across ranches and mountainsides. How do you fight back against nature's most cunning predator, without destroying what you're trying to protect? Let us know what you would do. Would you support protective hunting? Guard dogs? Innovative deterrents? As wolf attacks on livestock continue to rise, obtaining legal hunting permits has become an essential step for farmers and hunters fighting to protect their livelihoods. These permits are issued by the Montana Fish and Wildlife Department, allowing individuals to participate in controlled, responsible wolf management efforts. Once approved, hunters can purchase licensed shotguns and other legal equipment from authorized firearm dealers, such as Base Pro Shops and other certified outlets. But it's not just about buying gear, preparation is key. After securing the necessary permits, hunters begin strategically preparing traps tailored for wolves. This step is crucial. A well-set trap can mean the difference between success and another night of devastation on the farm. Each trap is carefully placed based on recent wolf activity, using terrain, scent, and weather conditions to the hunter's advantage. This one's thin, huh? Yeah, a little. Even in conversation, experienced hunters showed just how much detail they put into sizing up the situation. Every print, every sign tells a story. It's this attention to detail that helps keep wolf populations in check while minimizing risks to livestock and preserving the balance between humans and the wild. In the battle to protect livestock from wolf attacks, precision is everything, especially when setting a trap. To build an effective wolf trap, hunters start by selecting a solid, stable platform, often a quiet road or hard-packed clearing. Snow is carefully cleared away, creating a clean workspace where no scent, print, or out-of-place twig will betray the trap's presence. Next comes the heart of the setup, the MB750 foothold trap, a reliable, heavy-duty choice built for predators as powerful and cunning as wolves. With a sharpened axe, a precise, narrow hole is carved out, just big enough to conceal the trap, but not so wide as to tip off a wary animal. The smaller the gap, the greater the control. To anchor the setup, hunters use thick chains, securely fastening them to a nearby tree or solid post. This ensures that, if triggered, the wolf cannot escape or injure itself through panic or force. The trap is set with even pressure, every spring tested, every angle fine-tuned. Then it's camouflaged under soft snow, blending invisibly into the terrain. But make no mistake, wolves are not easy prey. They are highly intelligent, suspicious of anything unnatural in their environment. A poorly placed trap? They'll avoid it. A disturbed scent? They'll vanish. That's why experienced hunters check their traps at least twice a day. Not only to maintain effectiveness, but to ensure humane handling and quick action if a trap is triggered. Safety is paramount, both for the hunter and the animal. These traps are engineered to snap shut in a blink, and collecting them requires caution, skill, and respect for the power they hold. Thanks to this disciplined process, wolf trapping in Montana remains both effective and sustainable. According to state wildlife reports, the carefully monitored hunting season, typically running from January to March, keeps the annual wolf harvest between 200 and 400, staying within ecological balance while defending local ranches. It's a delicate dance between predator and protector, between the wild and those who live closest to it. Would you have the patience and precision to set a trap like this? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more true tales from America's untamed front lines. In the shadowed forests of Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, a silent threat is growing, not from predators, but from profiteers. The black market trade of counterfeit wolf pelts has become a serious concern. Hunters are required by law to report every pelt they harvest. This isn't just about numbers, it's about protecting a delicate balance between conservation and commerce. But the rise of fake pelts is shaking that balance. Authentic wolf pelts are highly sought after in the luxury fashion industry, where demand fuels a legal, regulated trade. But counterfeit products are now flooding the market, undermining legitimate hunters, disrupting pricing, and threatening wildlife oversight. Worse still, it muddies the data that conservationists rely on to track population trends and ensure sustainable practices. If these fake furs go unchecked, it's not just the economy that suffers, it's the entire conservation system. Yet wolves aren't the only ones caught in this growing conflict between humans and nature. A new aerial invader is wreaking havoc on a national scale, the European starling. With a staggering population of over 200 million, these invasive birds are swarming America's farms, skies, and cities. They aren't just pests, they're a biological assault force, devouring crops, nesting in buildings, and pushing native species to the brink of extinction. Their aggression is unmatched. Starlings outcompete songbirds for nesting spots. They travel in flocks so dense they blacken the sky. And their feeding frenzies? They can strip entire fields in hours. From counterfeit wolf pelts to winged invasions, these are the new battles of the wild, where human survival and nature's fury collide. What do you think poses the greater threat, fraud within our conservation systems, or invasive species overwhelming our ecosystems? Leave a comment with your take, and subscribe for more stories at the front lines of America's wildlife crisis. In America's cities and farmlands, a silent invasion is spreading fast, and it's leaving a filthy trail behind. European starlings, once introduced with good intentions, have now become a national menace. These invasive birds swarm in massive flocks, darkening city skies and turning neighborhoods into battlegrounds of noise, filth, and chaos. Their droppings stain rooftops and sidewalks. The relentless screeching and foul odors make everyday life unbearable for residents. But this isn't just an urban problem, it's hitting our farms just as hard. Starlings descend on crops like a plague, destroying harvests and costing farmers millions in losses each year. Faced with this mounting crisis, hunters and wildlife managers are fighting back. In fields across the U.S., they're deploying clever strategies, decoy models to lure starlings in, and recorded alarm calls to control their movements. These tactics are being used especially in rural areas where starlings attack in the thousands. The goal? To thin the flocks before the damage becomes irreversible. But time is running out. With a population soaring past 200 million, starlings are overwhelming our defenses. If left unchecked, their spread could forever alter native ecosystems and cripple agricultural livelihoods. Should we be doing more to stop this invasion? Let us know in the comments, and if you care about protecting native wildlife and the future of our farmlands, hit that subscribe button and join us on this frontline fight. Across America, a hidden war is being fought, not against people, but against the invasive species threatening our land, wildlife, and way of life. Hunting these species is not just legal in most states, it's necessary. With no population limits in many areas, and hunting seasons often stretching from fall to early spring, it's one of the few tools we have to slow the damage. But this isn't just a sport. It's a responsibility. These invasive predators and pests wreak havoc on native ecosystems, displace local wildlife, and cost farmers and communities billions. Yet, if done recklessly, even well-intentioned hunting can create ripple effects, disrupting delicate habitats and putting native species at risk. As hunters and conservationists, we face a tough question. How do we defend what we love without destroying it in the process? Regulations exist to keep that balance. From species-specific rules to designated hunting seasons, these laws are in place to protect what matters, and it's up to us to follow them. What do you think? Is hunting invasive species the right solution to protect our ecosystems, or do we need a better approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we want to hear from you. And if you're passionate about protecting America's wildlife and wild spaces, smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video. Your voice helps grow this community and spread awareness of these urgent environmental battles. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there, on the front lines of conservation. The battle between hunters and bears is intensifying across America, gunshots echo through the forests, and massive figures fall to the ground, becoming yet another trophy. Each year, around 40,000 bears are legally hunted in the U.S. But is that number just the beginning? What's the real impact of this hunting? Is it a necessary part of conservation, or is it simply a story of destruction and cruelty? We want to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment with the number 1 if you're ready to dive into this controversial story with us. Here's the twist. Black bears are becoming a growing presence in urban areas across the country, sparking fear and concern in communities. But this rise in bear encounters isn't just an accident, it's a direct result of urban expansion and tourism habits. As more people invade traditional bear habitats and leave food scraps behind at campsites, bears are growing more comfortable around humans, even venturing into residential areas to scavenge. But what's the solution? Do we hunt them to keep our communities safe, or is there a better way to address the growing conflict between wildlife and human development? Join the conversation, and let's explore the facts together. Your voice matters in this ongoing debate. Lately, an alarming trend has emerged. Bears are breaking into homes with an increasing boldness, and their behavior is becoming more aggressive. No longer simply searching for food, these bears are destroying property, damaging infrastructure, and in some cases, even attacking pets. According to the Wildlife Conservation Society, the annual economic damage caused by bears has now topped a staggering $10 million, a clear indication that this is more than just a nuisance, it's a growing safety and security concern. This issue isn't just affecting isolated areas, it's increasingly impacting communities near forests and mountainous regions, where residents are finding themselves face-to-face with these powerful predators. The question now is, how do we balance safety with conservation? What can we do to protect both our homes and wildlife without resorting to drastic measures? Your thoughts and experiences matter. Leave a comment below, and let's continue this important discussion. As the threat of bear intrusions grows, authorities are stepping up their efforts to tackle the situation. In response, some areas have introduced limited hunting permits as a way to manage the bear population. However, hunting in residential zones remains strictly prohibited to ensure public safety. Instead, hunting campaigns are confined to forested areas, well away from where people live. The hunt begins with a careful search for distinctive signs of bear activity. Hunters are trained to spot telltale marks, deep, oval-shaped footprints in soft soil, claw marks on tree trunks where bears have marked their territory, and fresh piles of scat, often filled with berry seeds or insect fragments, indicating a bear has recently passed through. With years of experience, hunters rely on strategic tactics, with one of the most effective being tree stand hunting. Concealed in tree stands, 13 to 19 feet high, they wait for a bear to appear. When it does, hunters quickly assess its size, ensuring it meets regulatory standards. If it does, they take a precise shot. Adult black bears typically measure 4 to 6 feet in length and weigh between 280 and 500 pounds, while females are smaller, ranging from 3 to 5 feet in length and weighing between 200 and 400 pounds. This method ensures that hunters stay within ethical and legal boundaries, all while helping to manage bear populations and prevent further conflicts with humans. What are your thoughts on these controlled hunting measures? Share your perspective in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Hunting regulations are strict to ensure sustainable bear populations, and only adult, non-pregnant bears are permitted to be hunted. This means that hunters must be incredibly precise when identifying their targets, as even a small mistake can lead to legal consequences. Accurate judgment is crucial to comply with these important limitations. The hunting process typically spans 3 to 7 days, depending on several factors: weather conditions, the bear density in the area, and the skill of the hunter. During this time, hunters are fully immersed in the wilderness, camping out in remote locations and waking up before dawn each day to track and search for signs of bear activity. Bears have distinct feeding habits that shift with the seasons, and hunters must know exactly where to find them. In the spring and early summer, bears are most commonly found in meadows and clearings, where they graze on fresh grass and new plant growth. As the seasons progress into late summer and fall, bears seek out areas abundant in oak and chestnut trees, where they forage for rich, fat-filled foods to help them prepare for the harsh winter months. Additionally, streams with migrating salmon become prime bear habitats as they take advantage of this rich food source to bulk up for hibernation. This deep understanding of bear behavior is essential for the success of each hunt, as well as for ensuring that these hunts remain ethical and effective in managing bear populations. What do you think about the careful regulation of bear hunting? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters in this ongoing conversation. The use of hunting dogs is an invaluable technique that has proven incredibly effective in tracking and chasing bears, especially in challenging terrains. These specially trained dogs are fearless and have an exceptional ability to recognize bear scent, making them the ideal companions for any bear hunt. When starting the hunt, hunters release the dogs into areas with the most recent signs of bear activity. From there, the dogs use their superior sense of smell to track the bear's scent through the wilderness. In some cases, hunters also use audio devices to pick up the dogs' barks, helping them keep track of the chase from a distance. Once the dogs detect the bear, they immediately give chase, aiming to drive the bear into a position where escape becomes impossible. In most cases, to avoid the pack of dogs, the bear will instinctively climb a nearby tree, seeking higher ground for safety. As soon as the bear reaches the tree, the dogs surround the base, barking loudly and continuously, ensuring that the bear remains trapped until the hunter can make their move. This method relies on the skills of the dogs and the coordination between the hunter and their trained companions, creating an effective, humane, and controlled way to manage bear populations. What are your thoughts on using hunting dogs in this process? Let us know in the comments below. Tracking a bear after the dogs have given chase involves a delicate process, where hunters rely on both barking sounds and GPS signals to zero in on the bear's location. Depending on the terrain and distance, this part of the hunt can last anywhere from a few minutes to several hours, requiring patience, skill, and precision. Bear hunting in the United States is heavily regulated by wildlife management agencies, ensuring that hunting practices are ethical, controlled, and sustainable. Hunters must possess a valid hunting license, which is carefully issued to promote fairness and to ensure that bear populations are effectively managed. Along with the license, regulations may include limits on the number of bears allowed to be hunted each season, specific minimum size requirements, and the strict prohibition of hunting female bears with cubs, to preserve the integrity of bear families. The official bear hunting season typically occurs in the fall when bears are actively foraging to build up their fat reserves for winter. This makes them more vulnerable and easier to locate. However, certain states also allow hunting in the spring, shortly after bears emerge from hibernation. During the hunt, hunters move like silent shadows in the forest, methodically and stealthily, always moving against the wind to avoid detection. They often target areas like oak forests, chestnut groves, or streams, locations where bears gather to feast on food sources like acorns and berries, particularly during the fall months. While this tradition has deep roots in North American history, it's also a critical tool for wildlife management. By carefully managing bear populations, hunting helps balance ecosystems and minimizes dangerous human-bear conflicts, especially in rural and suburban areas where these encounters are more common. In addition to managing populations, responsible hunting contributes to the conservation of North American black bears, helping to ensure their long-term sustainability and health. What do you think? Should we continue to rely on hunting to control bear populations, or is it time to explore more humane solutions to address this challenge? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated with our latest videos.